Verse 47. Laban called it Yegar Sahaduta, but Jacob called it Galit. Verse 48. Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. Therefore the name is Galit. Verse 49. And Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watch between you and me when we are out of one another's sight. Right, now, seemingly different names here. Some people might like, oh, different names. Like, this Moses was wrong, somebody was wrong here, somebody, so they were not sure about whatever. People always come up with the weirdest kinds of things and trying to show that the Bible's wrong, and then they throw the logic out of the door in doing it. I mean, these people are different mother tongues, right? They spoke different languages, and so in the one language, the word sounds differently than in the other language. Okay. So I mean, even since like when I say my name in Thai or my name in Afrikaans, someone asked me today, say, how to spell my name? What's my name? And I said, but I know you can't pronounce it this way, right? So this is kind of the way you pronounce it. I mean, from where you're coming from, with what you in your language can do. In your language, you will basically pronounce it like this, okay? But this is the way I would pronounce it. So this is the same as well here, just with the names. A very simple explanation, okay? Sorry if I go in way too much depth, but I just want to show how sometimes people can go overboard with finding the weirdest reasons or weirdest explanations for something, when it's just plain about a lot more simple reason for this. So different names, not so much because of, but because different languages, and so in different languages going to sound all differently. I think we all understand that. Okay, so this heap, like I say, this is a witness. The pillar, the stones around, the heap, this is a witness, and he called it this name. And then as well adding that the Lord watches between you and me when we're on each other's side. So when you are there, I'm over here, God is the one taking care of it. Now, does that mean Laban was worshipping the same God as Jacob? We're going to see that, no, that's not really true. Okay, because, but we'll get in a couple of verses from here to that as well. Right, so that is a kind of a prayer in a certain sense of God watching over you when this is done. Verse 15. If you oppress my daughters, or if you take wives besides my daughters, although no one is with us, God is witness between you and me. Okay, so it's also like kind of funny, like Laban saying, if you're going to take more wives, kind of remember that God is in now a witness, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. When Laban was the one who gave Jacob the two wives, right? Jacob wanted one wife, and Laban gave him two. And then because of that whole infighting about the kids, in the end they ended up kind of having four, right? So it's kind of ironic in a certain sense how Laban is like, you don't take any more wives, when Laban's actually the reason he's in this whole mess. Right? So God is a witness. So calling up to God, although he doesn't really believe in God, or at least he doesn't believe in God alone, which, when he gets to God, that means you don't believe in him. Verse 51. Then Laban said to Jacob, see this heap and the pillar which I have set between you and me. This heap is a witness, and the pillar is a witness, that I will not pass over this heap to you, and you will not pass over this heap and this pillar to me to do harm. Right? So this is basically just saying this is a witness again. Right? I'm not saying you're not allowed to pass over this, come and visit. Right? Sure, come and visit the grandfather. Seemingly they never did it, but it's possible. They can cross the river and go and visit the grandfather. But the whole point is, don't come in war. Right? Don't come and to do harm. I won't cross to your side to come and do harm. You don't cross to my side to come and do harm. But we can cross, but not to do harm. Verse 53. The God of Abram and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Verse 54. And Jacob offered the sacrifice in the hill country and caused his kinsmen to eat bread. They ate bread and spent the night in the hill country. Okay, so Laban speaking, he's saying this in the name of God of Abram, the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between. So he's speaking of different gods here. That God, this God. We make sure we're kind of covering the gods here. Your father's God, my father's God. And we do know from other places in the Bible that Abram did worship other gods before worshiping God. Okay, so Nahor then logic would still most likely be worshipping these other gods, and therefore if it was the same God, he would have said the God of Nahor and Abram, but he's saying the God of Abram and the God of Nahor, right? So two different, clearly different gods here involved. And he had his little house god. So you can see Laban was a polytheist, right? This as well would be the reason why God told Laban not to bless or to hurt Jacob, because as we've seen a number of times before, yeah, some Muslims here in the background start chanting now. It feels a little bit early to do it. Anyhow, so these different God telling them to not bless Abram, because God doesn't want people from. He's shown it's the other people were not blessing. Isaac and Abram, they weren't getting rich because of other people. They were getting rich because of God. Okay, Abram, after defeating the kings there, Sodom and Gomorrah, he told the king of Sodom, I don't want anything from you, because I don't want you to go around and say you made Abram rich. Okay, and the same is later on going to be for Abimelech and other kings. They got rich because of God, not because of other gods. Okay, so this is with Laban being a polytheist, worshipping other gods. God didn't want him to bless Isaac so they can, look at me, my gods, the gods that I blessed you kind of with, they are the reason you're rich. No. There's place only for one God here, not for a myriad of gods. So that explains as well that reason. But understandably, the hurting, don't hurt him. You don't hurt him. Okay, but at the same time, don't bless him, because I don't want you to do that. I don't want the story to go on. Jacob, he did it swear not by the God of, by the fear of Abram, but the fear of his father Isaac. Okay, so as well, later on we see the God of Abram, the God of Isaac. So that same God, okay, going through that same line. So then they again offered the sacrifice. Again, they broke bread together. So in certain cultures, eating bread together. Here they would take sticky rice most likely, or some other rice, and eat that together or something like that, which is the most important, the staple kind of for them, the bread. Okay, it's like the Russians will, when you come or they visit, you go to a village kind of, and it's a ceremony going on, and they accept you in that village, and they bring out the bread and the salt. So then they spent the night together. Verse 55. Early in the morning, Laban arose and kissed his grandchildren, his daughters, and blessed them. Then Laban departed and returned home. Well, so the next morning, early, lo and behold, not because he's trying to get somewhere very fast, anything like that, it's just the best time of the day to travel. I've mentioned that a number of times before. So he got up, said his goodbyes, and they're off. Okay. Most places, like if you're living here in Bangkok and you want to go somewhere outside the city for the weekend, if you're going to wait till like even noon, then be sure you're going to sit in traffic. So you try to get out early in the morning so as to be out before the traffic. Okay, this is basically just what they're doing here, before it's too hot for traveling. Okay, so kissed goodbye and they're off.